G'day, g'day. Welcome to Gravesend Australia Diecast Salvage. Today, I hope to be playing with a Sabra Gamda Koor VW Beetle. I'd like to welcome new subscribers. I'd like to thank the current subscribers. Thank you very much. Even if you're a one-time viewer, thank you for coming by and having a look. For those regular to the channel, I would like to give an apology for not having much content out at the moment. For the simple reason is that I've moved back to Gravesend from Sydney, and there's been a lot of things happening in the background, like cleaning up, finding places to put stuff, and re-establishing a hobby area. So hopefully we should be able to put content out on a more regular basis. I'll try and stop rambling and do what Pete from PB Restoration does, is get a crack-a-lacking. So we're at my desktop workbench here. Welcome along. So let's have a closer look on this Sabra Gamda Koor or Gamda Koor Volkswagen Beetle. By the looks of things, this used to be a police or police version with the dark green and most likely white fenders. Remnants of a blue beacon here. Missing its bumpers. Front bonnet opens, which is nice. The window unit looks to be in good order. Very small tail lights down the bottom, which should be up a little bit higher, roughly about equal to where the number plates is, so we may rectify that. But again, this is a toy, not a real car. So it does have an interior, a red one. All tyres are there. So seeing as I've already taken the trouble of using the bird tool on my rotary machine, 3 posts, one at the front, 2 at the back, and this one was already damaged with the bumper being removed, so I'm not too worried about that. So we're just going to slide in the front here. We pop. This is a plastic base. All the Gamda Koor Sabras or Kragstand that I've come across, they've all been plastic bases. It is a Israeli manufacturer, so we'll see if we can polish up these hubs. I don't know whether the rubber boot will come off. In any case, we'll clean them up. Interior, we'll do a clean up on. There's our window unit. Now, as mentioned before, seems to be in quite good order. Not broken or cracked, just has some minor scratches to it, so it should come up clean. Yeah, we'll take that nub off from where the beacon used to sit, and the bonnet is just hinged in. Just lift up and pull out. So that is the casting, ladies and gentlemen. So the bit of corrosion up the top here. Don't know whether that's rust or it is actually corroding with fatigue, but we'll clean that up and we'll go from there. So I have something special for you guys and girls, and you shall see that, I hope, in the next segment. Well, I did say I'll have something special for you, and you notice that we haven't had much content out lately because I've moved from Sydney back to Gravesend, New South Wales, and because of that I can't use caustic soda to strip my vehicles because we are on a septic tank system, and using caustic soda will kill the bacteria that breaks down the human waste. So I've made a sandblasting cabinet and we're going over to doing some sandblasting. So there's plenty of videos out there of how to make one of these cabinets. That's what I did to make this one. I only did a couple of slight changes and I'll come back to this later. So let's come and meet our new strippers. Hopefully we can all see. Here we go. Just waiting for the air to build up again. Okay, we're having some minor technical difficulties, but you get the idea. And we'll come back in a moment. Well, yes, I've worked out what our technical problem was. It was an ID 10T problem. And if you write down ID 10T, you'll work out what that problem was as well. And I think it's the person that's on my side of the camera. So hopefully we can fix that up for next time and actually leave the compressor running. Anyway, we're at the stage now. We are stripped. The vehicle is naked. And we come up to our polishing side of things by using the brass bristle brush and the scourer that I use. So just to make it a little bit easier for my fingers, if I can get the hood back into position. This is going to be fun when it comes time to reassemble. I'm going to tell you that much now. If it's hard now, with nothing there, it's going to be fun doing it later. I'll come back to that. Stop wasting these people's time, Michael. They want to see this action. This is what I generally do next. Well, it's part of the process of using the brass bristle brush. and then using this type of scourer, that we go from that to nice and shiny. So I'll continue with this off camera, and I shall see you in the next sequence. Well, hopefully the ID 10T item stays away. So let's get on to filling up this hole. Several ways you can do this. I'm using the masking tape, putting it on the inside. I'm going to use some Permatex liquid metal filler. You can use super glue and baking powder. It all works. With this, you're going to put a big daub into the hole, close it up, and all we're going to do is spread it around a little bit. Just making sure that the whole part is the one that receives the most. Just keep the pressure on the inside. It is starting to dry already, hence why you're seeing it lifting there, all these crunchy bits. So we're just going to let it even stay some of your finger. So we're going to let that set. We'll come back and do a little bit of sanding on that, make it all nice and smooth. And in the background, in the meantime, I shall give these a clean up in the poor man's wash machine. You don't need to see that, but we'll make it all nice and clean. Yeah, I think the screen will come out really nice. I'm not a big fan of coloured screens, but this is what came with the vehicle. Haven't decided what colour I'm going to paint it yet, whether it's going to be a single or a two-tone. Not too sure yet. We shall have to wait and see. In the meantime, we'll let that set and we'll catch you in a moment. Stop rambling, Michael. So I'm doing a wheel swap on this Gamda Koor VW Beetle, and I'm using a dressmaker's pin for axle, and I'm using a cotton swab, this part here, for the axles for the tube. So all I need to do now is, once I put them in there, and I'm not a lefty, put them in there, All I need to do is put a dab of super glue and I'll hold it all into place. And we should get, I'm holding it the right way, that way. And our wheels should look like that. All right, so I'll do that off camera, save a bit of embarrassment. We'll be back shortly. Here we now have our axles glued in. The car is a roller. There we go. All right, so as you can see, we're in a etch primer. I'm going to put a base coat on, and still deciding on whether it's going to be a two-tone or just the one colour. Catch you in a moment. This is just a reminder as to what I started with at the beginning of this episode, which is a VW Sabra Gamda Koor Beetle. And here we are now. Here we are with our Gamda Koor Sabra VW Beetle. If you haven't followed us through the video and just skipped to the end, I'll explain what we've done with it. We stripped it and we used the new Gravesend Australia Diecast Salvage new stripper venue. That was exciting, even though we did have a technical issue there, and that of course was the ID 10T issue. And if you don't know what an ID 10T issue is, write it down, ID 10 and T. Well, anyway, we stripped the paint, we've repainted it in a two-tone colour, and green is, so my two favourite colours. Well, I shouldn't say favourite colours. For the VW, we've got the darker green over the main casting and on the fenders, and we have the lighter green going down the sides. We've done a wheel swap on here. We've used dressmaker's needles as axles. We've used the shaft from a cotton swab as our tubing. We have used cotter or split pins, if you like, to make the front and rear bumpers. We've also chromed the headlights. We've painted the front indicators in, and we've used gemstones or rhinestones, if you like, for our taillights. The other thing we've done is we've given it some registration. So I'm happy with that, and I think Marty would be too with Marty's Matchbox Makeovers, if he ever watches my channel. I don't know. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and we'll catch you next time at Gravesend Australia Diecast Salvage.